are soul ties and how to break them. I'm also going to be sharing my experience of some of the steps I've taken to break some soul ties over the years. Or if we break down the word soul tie, a soul simply is your mind, your will, your emotions. So that is pretty much what makes up our soul. And when you think of a tie, you're really thinking about something of an attachment, a bond, something that almost connects you with that other thing, you with that person. And that is pretty much how we think of a soul tie. It's our mind, it's our thoughts, it's our memories, it's our feelings, our emotions, it's even sometimes our will, our desire to actually connect and fuse with another individual. Soul ties can be that connection between the emotional part of you, the spiritual part of you, the physical part of you. You've got the sex element. So now on a sexual level, you're also intimate. You've connected your soul to soul with this individual. So soul ties can be quite a complicated bond on many different levels. And that can make soul ties sometimes the hardest thing to break. It is a complex, invisible bond that is there, but you almost can't see it, but it's there. Which is why sometimes you or others that you might know will feel like, I just can't even get this person out of my head. You know, I just can't seem to let this person go. I still feel so emotionally connected to them and I haven't seen them for a year or so many months. There's different layers to the tie. It's not just on a sexual level, because you can have soul ties with friends. You can have soul ties with people you've never been sexually intimate with. The thing is, you can also have soul ties that are positive. So if you take, for example, a relationship that you might be in, you might actually be in a healthy soul tie with maybe your husband, maybe your partner. But unfortunately, there can be some toxic, unhealthy soul ties that are really sometimes the hardest things to break, particularly if you are dealing with toxic, manipulative people who you might be tied to on an emotional, spiritual, and even physical level. Maybe you've been intimate with someone who pretty much has shown their hand to be a narcissist, or maybe they've shown their hand to be a really toxic, manipulative person, and now you've not only been in a relationship with them, but also maybe on a financial level, you're tied to them. And I personally have experienced that, guys. So on my channel, one thing I don't want to do is I never want to paint this image. These things haven't featured in my life. They absolutely have. Now, if you add in a chemical called oxytocin, on a video actually, guys, you can see it in this video, which I'll pin here. And I talk about how that chemical is like the attaching chemical, like it bonds you to people. Like even if you've just had a really joyful experience with someone, could have been that, you know, you got married, or you went on like your first holiday with them, and you know, you've got the memories of that experience. Just simply having a experience with someone, it releases this oxytocin. And the worst thing is that we as women get a bigger dose of this oxytocin. So it kind of bonds you to this person. And sometimes what it does is it also can reduce the functionality of your rational, logical side of your brain. So when this is racing around in your body, it's even harder to not connect with this person. It's even harder to not feel so bonded to this person, because there's chemicals also being released in your body, like oxytocin, that are going to make this connection even stronger. Half the time, I think it's just coming to terms with the fact that you have this bond with this person. The awareness that you now have that actually this connection, this bond with this person, something ain't right. Like, I just can't seem to get them out my head. I just can't seem to move on. Almost fantasize and long for them at times. Like you actually genuinely are wanting that person to come back into your life. You might start searching for them online. You might start asking questions about them more. You might just actually be the person who is bringing them into discussions with friends or family. Even when you know that that person or that relationship hasn't been so good, you're still in this space of really longing for them, even though it's been years. And that is the sign often that you have a soul tie that you still need to work at breaking them. And I went through that same thing. Like, I had a relationships that had to go. They were not healthy. And I recognized that they weren't healthy. I recognized that there was elements of manipulation. There was elements of actually abuse. There was elements of different things that I just knew this was not a healthy relationship for me to continue in. And once you get that awareness, you have the opportunity to change it. Now this, guys, is where we're going to move into what are some of the steps you can take to break that soul tie. I'm going to actually just show you a scripture that has really been one of the stepping stones in helping me get myself out of a soul tie. So please use the comments below and drop any tips and tools that you found really helpful when it comes to breaking a soul tie. And remember, guys, if you're enjoying this content, hit that like button and the subscribe so you never miss another upload, but also you get this video out to others who might benefit. For me, my faith has played a huge part of my journey in breaking soul ties. There's a really great scripture in the Bible, which is Psalms 139 verses 23 to 24, and I'm going to read it in the NLT version. And it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me along the path of everlasting life." Now, guys, I'm not here as a preacher. I personally have definitely had different soul ties, and there are some that have been really unhealthy, really toxic, and even really damaging to your self-confidence, your self-esteem. You can really end up in a headspace where you're almost like, why am I still stuck thinking about this person who's not been good to me? This has been a really good scripture for me, and a key one, because I had to get to a place where I said, Lord, help me. Lord, I need to change. Lord, I don't want to be in this situation any longer. Like, Lord, why can't I let go? Lord, help me to know what it is that is holding me hostage to this person, even after this person has shown me that they're not good for my life, has shown me that they don't have my best interests. They have shown me that their intentions is to hurt and harm me, and not to kind of love and care and show me respect and all the things that I hope I'm showing them. Show me, Lord. Search in me what it is that I'm longing for, clinging to. Show me the thoughts in my mind that are holding me captive. Like, I literally use my journal, and I haven't got it with me, but maybe I'll show you. But I journal. I've journaled for pretty much a lot of my life. And for me, it's been a great way of really just taking what's in here and actually putting it down onto paper, and being able to reflect on it, and being able to cry about it, and being able to really let my heart out in a safe way. That doesn't mean I'm oversharing with people who haven't really earned my trust. And it doesn't mean that I'm also just going to hold it inside and pretend it doesn't exist. This is painful stuff, guys. And this is stuff that does need time. And it means there is no concrete, like, within 6 weeks, this is the quick fast start guide to, breaking a soul tie. I really am against, like, saying, look, it only takes 2 weeks, and just 2 weeks that soul tie's gone. Everyone's journey to breaking their soul tie is so individual. It's so personal to you. It's a grieving process. It's a process that is going to mean transformation. It's a process that's going to mean you need to do the work on yourself. The work could be years. The work could be weeks. The work could be months. It's so unique and individualized. So I don't ever put a time limit on it. But what I do say is you have to go in with the mindset that I am going to break this. This will not hold me. This will not hold me captive. This will not be my life. This is not the best God has for you. Like, you have to know that for yourself. You have to know that you deserve better, that God wants the best for you, that actually everything is under God. That means nothing is above God. It means that nothing is unbreakable. And having that mindset shift is key. Because for me, it was like, no, nothing is unbreakable. God is the ruler. He's the creator of all things. Meaning I need to go to the source so I can break this thing, because this thing feels bigger than me at the moment. But I know my God is bigger than all things. So now I just went back to the source and I was like, Lord, search me, oh God. Let me know what it is and why it is that I seem to be in this sort of stronghold with this person. Like, why has this person got this hold over my life? And what I found is that God gradually started showing me things, and it wasn't like tomorrow it was shown, but it was like I was just in a headspace where I was like, we are going to do the work. And it like, you have to talk to yourself the same way, guys. You're like, I am going to do the work. And you can say it with me now, like, I am going to do the work to break this. This will not break me. I am going to do the work to break this. And having that mindset, having that kind of full focus on this will not break me. I am going to break it. Like, that mindset was what really is the kick off, I would say, that you need when it comes to breaking a soul tie. Because if you go in with a kind of, I hope that this will work. No, you have to go in knowing this is not going to break me. I am going to break it. I don't care how long it takes. I am going to be so intentional and so focused on making sure that whatever stronghold, whatever layer of the levels in which this tie has me gripped, this soul tie has me bound, it will be broken. So it really started with me taking real control of my mindset, of really developing an attitude of this will not break me. I know that my God that I serve is the God who has created all things, meaning he has the most power and authority. And if I go to the source, which is God, he will help me in this. He will be able to assist me in breaking this. And this is why I also encourage people, like, even if you aren't of this faith, have the mindset to say, I deserve more. You deserve more. You watching this, you deserve more. And you need to go in with the mindset to say, I can overcome all things. I can break all things. I am going to take control of my life. And that mindset was the beginning for me, guys. It was the moment that I said, right, I need to get power and control over me. I can't control others, but what I can do is I can control myself. I can control my thoughts. I can control where I put my focus. And that mindset shift is the beginning, guys. I then went to God and I was like, search me. Let me know what is going on. And God started showing things. He started showing things from my past. He started showing me things from my childhood. He started showing me the dynamics between me and my parents and me and my friends and me and my partners. Like, he was like, look at these behaviors. It was like the rose tinted glasses fell off, guys. It was like he was just showing me things that, look, you have always played this position. I was always the person who was the people pleaser. I was always the person who was willing to put others' needs before my own. I was always the person who was trying to make sure everyone else was okay. How they feel mattered more than how I felt. I was the person who was very much in tune with being able to read other people's moods, their emotions. I could sense things before it was even going to happen. Like, I have always had that skill, that gifting. And I used to see it as maybe just like nothing, but I had to start to see this as gifts, as talents, as things that God has given unto me that I need to use for myself. That I need to now turn that same radar and that same energy and skill set that I can pick up and understand how others are feeling and what they might need and how I might be able to meet that need. I now had to learn to meet my needs. I now had to learn to turn that radar of looking at what everyone else's feelings are and turn that radar into what am I feeling? What am I picking up on? What hair in this dynamic isn't working for me? Like, I literally had to learn the skill of how to love myself. Now, I know many people are like, oh my God, not self-love. Oh, yes, self-love. Like, you have to check, what have you grown up believing? What have you grown up almost accepting and internalizing as this is just the way things go? I want you to really go away and start to ask God, or ask whatever it is you believe in, or just search yourself and say, what are some of the things I believe about relationships, and what are some of the things that I've just come to accept as this is just how it goes? What are some of the things that I tolerate from others that, now thinking back, just doesn't seem right, doesn't seem okay? Because sometimes we don't want to really take a deep look at ourselves. We don't really want to go there because it would mean disrupting all the things we've just come to accept or believe about ourselves and our lives, and where our lives are, and who the type of people we have in our lives. And we've come to accept that as that's just our luck, that's just our, that's just our situation. Or we just feel like we're not good enough and we can't change that because of the things we've done in the past, or our actions, or some of the, the sins we might have committed. And it's like, I don't want God to reveal to me anything because, Lord, he might tell me to stop having sex, or Lord, he might expose me for, I'm in the church and I am still having sex. All these different things. And it's like, we're so uncomfortable with really having to do that truthful, honest work and look at ourselves, that we just stay in this place of, I'll rather just, leave that there. And sometimes you have to come to terms with the fact that the relationship you were in was not a real healthy relationship. It was a transactional relationship. It was a relationship where you did for them, you gave to them, you were the person who was the sacrifice for them. And that in itself can be the hardest thing to accept. And that's why when God is showing you these things and you're starting to feel like, no, I don't think that person was really there for me, like I don't think they really meant, what they said. That's the truth, guys. They didn't really mean what they said sometimes. And it's hard to accept that because you've been there genuinely pouring out your heart, your love for them, and they might not have really been there in the same way. That acceptance of the truth of what you've been in is also another key thing to breaking a soul tie. It's really accepting that this was not love. This was a fake con artist who came to get what they could get, and that was it. It was a transactional relationship. It was, what are you going to do for me? It was a one-way street. But there is something you get as a codependent from these things, and that is you need to pretty much have someone who you can put all your focus on, because you don't know how to focus on yourself. You don't know how to love yourself yet. You don't know how to really turn that same outward need for the taking care of others. You don't know how to really take care of yourself, so that you learn to meet your own needs and you don't need to get your needs met by others. Now, another way that you can break soul ties is really by distancing yourself from them. Now, this is hard and this is not easy, but for many of you, you will need to actually let that relationship go. Now, it's not just letting it go by saying, yeah, it's done, but you're still texting, you're still accepting calls, you're still, checking emails, checking Facebook, following them on Instagram. No, you need to let that relationship go. That means everything must go. His clothes, her shoes, the bag, the bed. Like, some people need to throw out the bed. Some people need to let go of the mattress. Like, it's deep. Like, it's so deep because the memories are there. Remember, it's on an emotional level. So your mind, your will, and your emotions, that means your memories of that person, like where you might have done things, where you might have bought you things, where he might have, you've got some strong memories that will be holding you hostage even long after they've physically left your life. So there's items that need to go. There's, significant jewelry, or photos, and all these nice special moments that are significant to you, and they form part of your journey, your story. But unfortunately, some of that stuff, if not all of it, it needs to go. And I'm not telling you to throw out all your pictures or not. For me personally, I had to release my photos. I was like, this has to go. Because when I look at these photos, I go back into that emotional and mental, psychological place where my memories are back on them. I'm ruminating. My thoughts are all on them. So there was things I just had to say, look, this has to go. And remember, guys, it's the attitude and the mindset that you have that is going to be half the way to get you there. And it has to be that you say, listen, everything has to go. Everything about this person, I am going to break this bond. I'm going to break this tie. You won't hold me the way you've held me before. So I had to say, you've got to go. Photos went. Items of clothing went, jewelry went, all things. Or what I then did, and what I can recommend you do, is you think about the friends that you have contact with who that person also has contact with. Now for me, there were some friendships that nothing happened in those friendships. There was no issue, but I had to make some decisions that, you know what, I can't be around these friends because I don't want to bump into him or her. I don't want to actually be in a scenario where this person is carrying information about me to them, or I don't want to even hear information about them being passed on to me. So I had to just decide, like some friendships, they just had to say, let's just say they just took a back seat. And it wasn't anything that happened with those people. It was just that those friendships are too close to some of those people that I just need a fresh start from. And as well, even if you're going to keep some of those friends, you then need to set some boundaries with, okay, if I'm going to be in this friendship with you still, I'm not going to be talking about my ex. I don't want you to ask me any questions about my ex. I don't want him to be a topic of discussion, or I don't want my friend, whoever that friend is that you're letting go of, I don't want them to be a topic of discussion around me. Like, you have those conversations, not in my presence. And if they're your friend, they're going to respect that. They're going to respect the boundaries. They're going to understand that you are making changes in your life, meaning I don't want to have to, keep dragging up the same thing, the same person, because that is going to just keep developing and strengthening this soul tie that I am being intentional about breaking. And other things that you can do is you just tell your friends, like, do not pass any information on to that person about me. Do not talk to others about me. Do not maybe share where I live and all those different things, because these are ways that you are trying to make sure you are breaking contact with that person. Also, another thing that you can do is you then need to decide, can I stay living where I live? Is this person someone who doesn't know and respect boundaries? Especially if you're dealing with a narcissist, especially if you're dealing with these toxic, manipulative people who they don't care about your boundaries. They are there to get what they want from you, which is either validation, admiration, to use you for something. So do you need to stay where you're living? Like, is it at a point where you say, you know what, I might need a fresh start in a different environment? Like, you are the only one who will know that. But it's like some people have to go to those extents because sometimes the person isn't even respecting your physical space that you've tried to create. So it's about you really being able to assess on each level, like, what is it I need to do to make sure that the boundaries are in place with this person. There's enough distance emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually from this person. Like, am I entertaining them? Am I still doing the whole friends with benefits? And really the benefit is just a sexual benefit. It's not actually that we're rebuilding our friendship or relationship. We're just maybe having, those sexual encounters and then it's done. Have you closed the door to that? Like, it's really about you taking radical action, guys. And I'm talking about radical action today because it's not something you can go into half-hearted. If you are intending to break a soul tie, you are going to disrupt every single part of those layers. And the difference in this is you are then going to have to say, you know what, do I need to go and actually fast? Do I need to go and be celibate and break this sort of sexual connection with anyone? Because at the moment, the next person I get with, I can't be sure that I'm getting with them for the right reasons. Like, I went through a number of years of being celibate and just saying, you know what, I need to make sure I am almost starving myself, like killing these, energies and urges and all this stuff, because I don't want to actually end up, whilst I'm trying to, in this process, break some ties with people, I don't want to connect with a new person yet. And then I've got a new soul tie and I'm not really sure if I've connected for the right reasons because I'm really in a healthy place, or actually I'm connecting because I'm just longing for someone to fill the void of the other person I'm longing for. So you've got to set up your own strategies, guys. You've got to really be honest with yourself and know what might be happening for you, and really go and challenge yourself to go and do the hard things. Create an accountability group. Like, get around some other people who are safe people, who you feel like I can trust them enough with some of these, you know, these areas of my life that I'm trying to change. I can talk to them. I might be able to open up to them. That might be one person, that might be two. But you have someone that you can talk this part through with when you need it. Because there might be moments where you can journal and do it all by yourself, but there's other moments where you're going to need someone to say, come on, sis, you got this. You're not going back. No, even if he texts you, you're going to now block that call. You're going to block his number. You're going to, block her number. You're going to block their email. You're going to take the steps, and someone's going to say, hey, have you done that? How's it going? It's really nice if you can have someone who you're they're going to hold you accountable to the things you say you're trying to change in your life. You definitely are going to need to be downloading into your subconscious positive some declarations of, I don't tolerate, boom. You're going to need boundaries. You're going to need to set yourself up with the things that you know you're going to need to remind yourself of in those times where you want to call him or her, where you want to reach out to them, where you're bored, where you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling sad, when you're having those moments of a special anniversary. You're going to need moments where you declare things over your life, like, I am healed, I am whole, I meet my own needs, I love myself now. I don't look for manipulators to love me. Manipulators are con artists. They want me to put them on a pedestal. Like, you need to declare that you are the head and not the tail. You are not here to be subservient, and you're not here to neglect your feelings. My feelings matter. How I feel matters. I deserve a healthy relationship. This person was not a healthy relationship. Every time you go to call them, you can put them in your phone as don't you dare. Don't you dare call this. If you want heartbreak, call this person. Like, you have to declare some things. You need to put some strategies. Again, delete the number, delete the emails. To do these things so that even if you try in those moments when you might fall short, have your strategies in place so that you can't even call or text if you tried. Make sure your friends agree never to give you the number. Like, no, under no circumstances, give me this number. I can beg, I can cry, don't give me the number. Understand that there's a bigger purpose to your life. What you've gone through does not mean it's your end. This is just part of your learning. This is part of your journey that is going to take you closer to understanding who you are, to discovering your purpose, your potential, your calling, your giftings, your talents. It's not going to be the thing that breaks you. It is going to be the thing that makes you. And I really believe in casting a vision for your life, making sure that you design what a healthy relationship is going to look like for you. You design what actually your good, healthy mate will look like for you. You outline on paper, on a vision board. You create the words that says, actually, it has mutual trust. It feels like this. I feel at peace. What is it you want to feel? What is it you want to experience in a relationship? And in all ways, I always say, faith without works is dead. This, to break a soul tie, means action. It means there's work to do. It means you're going to have to get in the mud and get dirty with fighting the things that unconsciously keep you bound. I really hope that this video has given you a good insight into what soul ties are, how to break them. Drop in the comments below any other tips that you have that have really helped you on your journey with breaking soul ties. Remember to hit that like button and the subscribe and the bell so you never miss another video each and every time I upload. Take care, guys, and God bless. Bye.